Welcome back to the Myth Series in Depth. After destroying the rod of the Kaliak and thus scaring Moagim away from Lankerfin, Connacht and company makes plans to take the fight to the Trow.
4 days after the siege of Lankerfin, the Emperor assembled his generals once again. After the destruction of the rod of the Kaliak, Moagim had retreated back into the Downs. All knew that once he could swell his army with fresh corpses, he would undoubtedly return. It was unanimously agreed that the Trow were the greatest threat they faced. Not only were the metal juggernauts all but unstoppable, but their ogre slaves were massive brutes as well. That was when Connacht revealed his plan. Speaking boldly, he stated that the only way to win the war was to eliminate the Trow. A great murmur rose from the assembled generals who thought that waging a war against the Trow was utter madness. No force in the world had ever stood up to the Trow and survived, even the great Ents and the godlike Kaliak. Still, Connacht relayed his plan. During the siege, Myrddred had discovered an incredible fact. The Oghre were held in thrall to their Trow masters by the power of dream magic. It was a dream of subjugation that compelled the Oghre to fearlessly obey their master's orders, not the threat of harm. The Oghre were once a proud and savage race. If they were released from the power of this dream, the Trow would have a bloody rebellion in their midst. Myrddred claimed that he had within his power a dream of release. If this spell was woven upon an Oghre slave, they would become free of the Trow's domination. Though it would take time, Connacht was sure that with an Oghre rebellion, the Trow would have better things to do than to march with Moagim's army. And so, Connacht was granted a small force to march into the Trowlands and attempt to achieve his improbable plan. After a month of hard traveling, the small force from Lankerfin reached its destination. A few miles south of the Trow temples of Avernus, Connacht's troops made their way along the vast Gajol River. On the northern side of the river, a Trow iron temple stood as prodigious as a mountain. It was the first Trow settlement any of them had ever seen. It was as magnificent as it was ominous. Rusting towers of angular shapes stretched to the heavens. Solid iron statues depicting scenes of Trow glories loomed over canyon-like streets. Scaffolding surrounded many structures, making the temple complex look as if in a state of constant repair and grooming. Everything in the settlement was constructed solely of iron. Huge slabs of it, many feet thick, all of them carved and welded through centuries of labor by Oghre slaves. Connacht ordered the troop to make camp along the river. They would wait until the deep of night to make their infiltration. Their plan was to catch the Trow by surprise. Myrddred and a small group of Heron Guard would stealth into the complex under cover of the night. There they would seek out a small group of Oghre slaves and weave Myrddred's dream of release upon them. With luck, the Oghres would throw off the mental shackles of the Trow influence and take revenge upon their masters.
The journal tells us that after successfully defending Lankerfin against Moagim, Connacht revealed the next step of his plan. He would bring the fight to the Trow. While the generals thought it was mad, Myrddred revealed that the Oghres were controlled by the Trow with some sort of dream magic. Myrddred believes that by using the dream of release, he would be able to free them from their captives. Connacht's plan was to distract the Trow by inciting an Oghre rebellion. The Oghre rebellion was talked about in Bungie's Tales from Myth comic, and Taro's Bestiary tells us about the history of the Trow. The Oghres were older cousins of the humans. At the beginning of Trow history, the Trow had created many shrines and monuments to Nyx. The Trow were foolish at the time and placed themselves above the other races by enslaving those who they found useful and killing and eating the rest. The Oghre resisted them tooth and nail, but when the child began to use iron, the Oghre stood no chance against them. The Oghre rebelled after 12 centuries of enslavement. This is where we are in the game now. The comic tells us that the Oghre fought against the Trow for 30 years before the Oghre were completely eliminated. The length of the Oghre enslavement is a potential conflict with the Myth 3 manual, as it tells us that the Oghre were enslaved during the Age of Darkness. After the Age of Darkness was the Age of Reason, and then came the Wind Age that we are currently in. Since we are close to the end of the Wind Age, and using the 1,000-year light and dark eras in the manual, that would mean that we are close to 2,000 years later after they were enslaved. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it is a conflict. Myth 3 also did not hold true to the battle lasting 30 years, as we will see. Anyways, back on track, I just want to show you how the events that are currently happening were told about in the Bungie Myth games. The forces of Lancrefin spent a month traveling up to the Trowland, and we are now in the temple complex of Riornan. It is a bit unclear where Riornan is, but the journal seems to suggest that it could be a few miles south of the Trow temples in Avernus. Riornan is actually mentioned in the Soulblighter manual, in which we learn that Riornan was a lost city of the Trow that was the first city to fall in the Trow Oghre Wars. The Soulblighter mission, with friends like these, takes place a few hours march south of Riornan, and you can tell from the map for this mission that it is nowhere close to Avernus. This appears to be another mistake by MumboJumbo on this mission. All of the Ogres building these large pyramids for the Trow reminds me of the Israelite slaves in Egypt who supposedly built the pyramids. I say supposedly because I am not thoroughly convinced that that was what the slaves did in Egypt, but that is a discussion for another day. The plan was to sneak around the temple during the night. Mordred would release the Ogre slaves with his dream release magic, and they would catch the Trow by surprise with their new allies. Seems like a good plan to me. Now, in the mission, we actually fight during the day, so this is a pretty big blunder by MumboJumbo. In fact, the mission has some serious flaws, and I will explain these to you within the mission. This mission occurs about 3 months after we destroyed the Rod of the Kaliak. Now let's jump into the mission. Use Mordred's dream of release to free enough Oghre to incite rebellion. 1 second. So, this mission is, it's a very poorly made mission. I'll just put it that way. I like the concept of it, to be honest, but like, it's just a pain in the butt and requires quite a bit of micromanagement. I'll show you what I mean. So, I mean, basically, his dream of release, you can just capture these ogres. They kind of keep their AI and try to go back on their, like, little patrol route as soon as you capture them, which is a little annoying, but... so what I'm gonna do is there's, like, probably, like, 8 or so Iron Trow warriors we have to kill in order to beat this mission, and they're kind of around this temple complex up here. Well, this is just some iron deposits or something, but if you come up here, it's a little bit higher up. I'll show it to you. But anyways, we start the mission, you know, going through these walls. But there's some big Ogre patrols we're gonna snag really quick. So if you kind of, it has like an area of effect.
New units received.
So, yeah, well, let's reload, do that. I was getting a little careless while I was talking. But anyways, so we want to capture all these ogres. So we're not going to go for no casualties in this one just because it requires a ton of micromanagement, and it's just going to be, it's not going to be fun to watch. I'll just promise you that. And it's going to be a major pain. It's not going to be fun for me. It's not going to be fun for you.
New units received. New units received.
So we're just going to we're not gonna let any of our units die except for the ogres. That's how I'm gonna do it.
New units received.
And pretty much all these ogres are gonna die. We're gonna have this huge mob of ogres, and we're gonna watch the Iron Chow just totally destroy them. So in this map, kind of like the temple is in the middle of the map. If you go close to the temple and the Iron Chow see you, they'll tend to kind of all just start charging you at once. In fact, we're gonna have to. Eventually, they're gonna all charge us at once. So here's one. Like, this guy won't keep following us. We can just run away from him. Hopefully he'll stop following us. But we want to go to the other side of the map. See there? Eventually he just left us. But if you get to a certain point, they won't do that, and they will outcharge you, and that's where the game gets tricky. So there's a big patrol up here somewhere that I'm looking for. A lot of these ogres just ignore you, but there is a big patrol. There it is. So I'm going to snag this big patrol, get them bunched up a little bit so I can get them all.
New units received. New units received.
You can just send them all the way over here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, you come through here, there's kind of this circle area, and there's kind of ogres all over the place. So I'm going to just pass forward it. I'm going to, because you have to, they kind of are all in like single groups, and they don't really fight you. And I'd like to snag them all, so what I'm going to do is I want to snag them all, and I'm just going to pass forward it for you, so. Okay, so we got all the ogres on this side of the map. There's a bunch of more ogres we need to get on the other side. Just gonna get them all over here. So here's all ogres. So there's tons of stragglers on this other side. There's kind of another circle area on this side. I mean, there's some ogres out here. I'm just gonna snag. Kind of, if you come back here, you'll see all these ogres. I'm just gonna snag all these again and pass forward for you, alright? Okay, so we kind of got all these ogres on this side now. You can see I had to come all the way to the east side of the map, you know, to get them. You can kind of see the outline for the Chow Temple on the world map. You can see, maybe let's run somebody up there so we can kind of show it off. So you kind of see, like, there's kind of these platforms you can run up. This ogre is kind of slow. There's all these ogres up here. I might get the Chow coming at me. There's all these ogres up here. They're pretty. You can kind of sneak up here and capture them, or use your dream of release on them. But it's pretty pointless, to be honest, because these are just heavily scripted AI. And like, if you try to capture them, like, they will just immediately keep patrolling, and you like can't even control them. So you see some of the iron Chow protecting it. You can see these huge iron structures, and then you can kind of see like these platforms, kind of like we've seen in the Bungie myth games. So I think they were trying to kind of mimic that. And there's just some iron rods and stuff and pipes. But anyways, that's that. Let's see if we can get him out of there without dying. Oh no, all the... I probably could capture them. Must reload though. I'm not gonna bother with them. So, and then there's one other part of the map I want to show you. Is if you take... We'll just grab all our ogres just for the heck of it. Is if you go kind of toward this northeast corner of the map, you'll kind of see this like ridge kind of area. It's kind of delineating the corner of the map. But the thing is if you take units up here, you get all these ogres or Chow Iron Warriors will come out. You know what I mean? And they'll all come at you. And I think these are not just ones that are in the temple. I think these are additional ones. So it's like you're going deeper into Chow lands or something. and you can just watch them. They're gonna destroy our ogres. You see, we killed one of them. We had like what, 55, about 50 some ogres, and we're down to 25. They just rip us apart. This one seems to be pretty stuck. And now they're coming at our main forces too. So we're not gonna do that. So one thing you can do to beat this mission is like you're trying to destroy all these trow. This is really the hard part because eventually they're gonna rush you. If you go towards the beginning of the map, you know you kind of have this one entrance. So what I've seen some people they would take Mudred and they just kind of go back and forth, dodging the Iron Trow Warriors and slowly sucking them with their kind of his stun spell. That requires a lot of micromanagement. It's not entertaining to watch. It's just we're gonna put these guys on a hotkey. It's just not very interesting. So we're gonna put this guy is gonna kind of be our bait. So basically, what we gotta do is we gotta use our dwarves to really get their health down.
Already there.
So if we kill one of these Iron Chow warriors, then they're gonna start attacking us. All of them are. And it's just too much to handle at once. They just got so many Iron Chow warriors. They won't bait well because they'll just randomly pick targets, you know what I mean? So really what I want to do is I want to bait them to following like a Huron guard. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bait them out and damage them a certain amount, but not kill them, and then let them go back on their patrol. And we're gonna do that multiple times. We might have got 2 of them, huh? That's all right. As long as they chase me. This guy's not chasing me, which makes me think we might have got all of them on us. Yeah, see, this is the hard part. Is sometimes they'll get all of them on us when we're just trying to get one. I haven't exactly figured out the triggers for that, and it's kind of hard because like I can't really view Vengeance, the map editor. Okay, let's try to get this guy. It's alright. Oh, here he comes. We got them all again, huh? Why are they doing this? Why, guys? Why? Maybe I'm going too deep. Maybe if I go like right here and stay here. Let's just let that one go by.
Already there.
Did I get them all again? Like, why are they being such pills right now?
Done. Moving. Already. Yes. Get out of the way.
For some reason, they all want to charge me. I'm not sure why. It might be how deep I'm going. Let's try to wait like right here. Wait till he's time. This is pretty tricky. Maybe like see these guys or something. I don't know, there's like a right there.
Yes. Yes.
There we go, we got one.
Already there.
Ah, come on. That means they're all coming. Let's try a different approach. Let's try putting them somewhere else. Maybe my ogres are in a bad spot.
Moving. Already there.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get them down to like yellow health. It seems like these guys are baiting, and I don't have more chow coming, so that's good. Basically, if I have all these chow coming at once at full health, it's gonna be a huge pain in the butt micromanaging them. So if I can hurt some of them, that guy's hurt pretty bad. So I probably will let these chow return to their patrols. Because I don't want to kill that one and have them all come at me.
Done. Already there. Yes. Yes. Moving. Yes.
Okay, I got one off me. Is this one? That one's one I can damage more. So I'll bring him back, this guy back to the dwarves. We're gonna save this on the second save just in case something goes wrong.
Moving. Already there. Done. Moving. Already there. Moving.
Okay, he left. Okay, good. So far, so good. So we can save that. So we got 2 trow down to like red. Hopefully I can get like pretty much all of them down in the red, so that way, you know.
Done. Moving. Yes.
Here's a green one. So let's see if we can bait this guy out.
Yes. Done. Done. Yes. Already there.
Okay, we're gonna I'm switching which save I'm saving on. So I'm saving on the second slave because if
Moving.
if I accidentally got more trow out, you know, I don't want to save it and have to restart the whole mission. And this is part of the reason I save it, is because stupid stuff like this happens. Or I accidentally hurt them too much. Like at some point, if you do a certain amount of damage to the trow, it seems like they all want to come out. I don't know. I don't really know what the triggers are, so...
Yes. Already there. Yes. Already there. Incoming. Look out. Moving. Yes. Here.
Yeah, he's hurt enough.
Yes.
The main thing is, like, when they all come, we want to make it more manageable. And that's why we're hurting these trow so much. Getting at them, because, like, they're just going to be so many, we can't...
Moving.
It's a pain to micro them all.
Moving. Done. Already there. Moving.
Stop chasing me. There we go.
Moving.
Okay, so that's 3 trow hurt now. So we want to keep going as long as we can. So
Moving.
alright guys, I tried for a bit. It doesn't seem like the game will let me hurt anymore without them sending everything at me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready for our final defense.
Let's go.
Okay, so this kind of circle area has kind of 2 entrances, right? One there and one there. So what we want to do is we want to plug one of these entrances in with the ogre, so I don't gotta worry about it. So they're gonna kill maybe a couple trow, and then that's all they're gonna be able to do. But their main purpose is they're here to slow them down while I deal with the trow that will come through this door. So we're gonna put these guys back here. Well, let's put them on this side. So this is gonna require a lot of micromanagement, but basically we're gonna lure one trow in, and we're gonna kill him, and then everybody, all the trow are gonna come. And we're gonna set a little bomb for the next trow that comes through so that we can kill him quickly. Hopefully we get kind of the hurt ones coming through here. Okay, that's good. So we'll lure him in, this first trow in, kill him, and then quickly kill the next trow with those satchels, hopefully. That way. So our goal is to kill him as fast as possible to kind of make it more manageable. Preferably we'll get one to start off that the first one that we bring in will be near full health. So let's kind of wait till we get one near full health to wander over here. Okay, here's one. Okay, we're gonna save this on a new save just in case we accidentally get more trow that we bargained for or something weird happens. We don't want to set ourselves up for failure. Okay, we're gonna bring him in, and we're gonna hopefully be able to kill this trow before more trow come.
Yes. Already there. Done.
You can already see the next trow coming. He's coming.
Moving. Moving.
He's another full health one.
Clear. Already there. Look out.
So we're gonna bring this one dwarf back to try to blow up on this trow that's coming through while we finish off this other one. But we want to make sure that we get our satchels off on him. Okay, so let's save it right here. I think this will be good. This guy's almost dead.
Done. Look out. Yes. Move here, move there, fool.
Okay, that's why I saved it right there, because I knew I'd probably screw something up. I really need to get both these trout. Oh, you know what I can do here? This is a nice little trick I can do. Okay. Let's try to finish him off.
Already there.
Because I can kind of block.
Already there. Yes. Already there.
There we go, that's perfect. Well, I might not get these satchels on him. Those satchels didn't work very well, but that's alright. Okay, now we got one trow down already.
Done.
We got another true trow coming. Okay.
Already there.
See, as long as we can keep them chasing our Huron guards, we're fine.
Done.
It seems that the trows aren't coming through the rear door yet, so our ogres are fine.
Already there.
So this guy's gonna die soon.
Done. Moving. Already there. Yes. Make way for the dwarf. Moving.
Where are these guys at? Okay, we gotta
Already there.
get this guy going to the door.
Yes. Moving.
To get these guys to chase. Hopefully they'll chase my Huron.
Already there. Clear. Clear. Already there.
Kind of like as you see, this is what sucks.
Yes.
kind of as you kill them, they do a better job of chasing your like as you the more you have of them left, they'll tend to want to chase your doors more, right? Versus the
Moving. Already there. Incoming. Here. Make up your mind.
I got a better one on him. How much damage did he do? He took like half his health on those satchels. I didn't place the satchels great, or as good as I could have.
Yes. Already there. Get out of the way. Here. Already there.
Okay, so we got him down.
Done. Done. What?
Let's get rid of this guy now.
Moving.
Since, you know, I feel better about this. Since we got those satchels on him, he's at half health, which means we should be able to kill him before the next group even gets in here.
Moving. Already there. Here. Yes.
It's kind of working out that they're spaced out pretty nice, so we got pretty lucky there.
Here. Incoming.
Kind of far from the entrance though, that's the one problem with where my Huron is right now. I could pull in another Huron.
Fire.
I just want to kill this guy, hurry up. I was getting too close to him because I was trying to get where I'm closer to the door. I should just not even mess around with that and just let him be where he is.
Done. Yes.
Just kill him.
Yes. Here.
So, it's kind of working out nice that they're spaced well.
Already there. Get out of the way.
This is actually working out pretty nice. So I'm kind of got worked it out, so I'm kind of coming around at the right time to deal with this guy. And now you can see that there's some chow coming around the back now into my ogres. You won't always get this lucky where they're spread out like this. So by walking in front of him, I'm kind of trying to aggro him, because like he's pretty hard aggroed at the
Done. Casualty. Already there.
So these trow is destroying my ogres, but they'll be able to kill him.
Casualty. Moving.
I think all the weak ogre, well, yeah, some of the weak trow are coming back here, which means that my ogres are gonna be able to get some kills.
Already there. Moving.
Like they'll have him down soon.
Already there.
Maybe not all my ogres will die,
Moving.
because I've been killing off most of the full health ones up here.
Done. Moving. Already there. Yes. Casualty. Already there. Casualties. Casualties.
Come on, ogre. Let's see if our ogre can survive. We got this trow here, and then we got another trow behind.
Casualties.
I kind of doubt it. We're down to 38. Well, that one's almost dead. Maybe they can make it.
Casualties.
Come on. Well, I think we're gonna have some ogres survive. I think this might be the last of the trow right here. Come on, ogres, kill your slaves. Yeah, that's the mission. I'm shocked that not all our ogres died.
The temple complex at Avernus fell to the Oghre rebellion. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Oghre bellowed cries of war to their ancient gods.
You can see, okay, we killed 8 Trow Iron Warriors. If you think, look at that, we had a damage ratio of over 1 despite all those ogres just being fed to those Iron Trows. But the only casualties we have was 44 ogres. We didn't lose anybody else. So I like to use the ogres just because, like, it feels like it's kind of like the point in the mission is that, you know, the Oghre Rebellion is that you just lose a bunch of ogres against a trow. I feel like that's kind of like the way the mission was intended. But anyways, like, the rest of your forces, you can use something I didn't do is, like, if you do got a trow Iron Warrior near death, like chasing your dwarves, you can use Mordred to finish them off because you'll freeze them, and then the trow Iron Warrior won't be able to do anything while he damages them. So that is something that I didn't have to use that you could use to make that if you're in a dire situation near the end. But that's kind of how you can beat this mission. It's a major pain in the butt, as you can tell, but I'm sure somebody will find an easier way to do it one day. But that's that. The windscreen shows some of the freed ogres celebrating their freedom over the corpses of one of the trow. The long fall must have caused that massive iron hammer to break at the handle. The windscreen tells us that the mighty trow temple of Avernus fell to the Oghre rebellion. The Oghre bellowed cries of war to the ancient gods. A couple of questions. I thought we were at the temple of Riordan. Is this a blunder on MumboJumbo's part? Also, who were the ogre's ancient gods? Since it is gods plural, it couldn't be Word or Nyx, and also it doesn't seem like they would worship the dark gods. This suggests that there are many more gods in the world of myth that we never hear of within the games. The lost screen shows the Iron Trow warriors holding up an ogre by the throat while smashing another ogre underneath his feet. The ogre are like small children in comparison to the mighty trow. The Oghre rebellion was quickly put down by the trow before it could mass to anything significant. This resulted in the end of Connacht and his forces. Thankfully, this was not the result we faced. That is all for this mission. See you next time in Rebellion.